computer. Yeah. All right, we're gonna pump this out on Facebook. Let's see if this has changed. I don't know. Wish me luck. All right, no, I don't want to be Joner. I want to change to the bookstore. So let's do that. And where am I? Ooh, that's fun. What's that? All right, live on Facebook. No, it only wants to put me on my Joner page. Well, we can put it there and share it other places.
All right.
Why is that? Yeah, you have to call the 20-year-old again.
Yeah, I've discovered that apparently 47 is the age at which I become completely technologically inept.
Yeah, I can't put it out on Facebook. Well, let's see. Let's go from the Meta Center. I'm gonna try to pump it out live on YouTube.
Okay,
We'll have to tell our friends there. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, wait, I hit the wrong button. Of course I did. One back to Facebook. What is this? Let's see if I can change this. Bear with me. Pardon us. Hi, everybody. This is Joni from Paperback Exchange Bookstore. I'm here with Josh Ginsberg today, and I am struggling to make the computer work the way I want it to, as usual. So we're going to pump this out on my Joan Hepsworth page, and we will share it to the bookstore page later. Oh, here we go. Connected. No. Yeah, we're just going to go live. There we go. There we go.
Everybody.
Here we are. Here we are. We're back. So here we are with Joshua Ginsberg, one of our most beloved local authors here in the Tampa Bay area.
Well, thank you very much.
Tampa Bay Scavenger. We've got Secret Tampa Bay, and he's got the newest copy of Secret Orlando that is just hot off the press. I don't even have any copies of it in there.
And this one I actually co-wrote with another author, so that was kind of a new experience. But yeah, and that is not in any way to suggest that I am abandoning the Tampa Bay area. That's the place I live and the place I love dearly. But I have to say, all throughout Central Florida, there is just so much weird that was dying to be written about.
You are not wrong there, Josh. There is a plethora of weird to be tapped into here in the Tampa Bay area and all of Florida. And we're a little bit famous for that, Florida guy.
A little bit.
But not in I like that you're doing it in a positive way. You know, it's not the Florida guy that's the complete idiot. It's the Florida guy that's strange and interesting. I need to learn more about that.
Yeah,
I get a lot of compliments. I've got your
yes, Mr.
hologram up. It's a very intense hologram. It even plays out well on here, I think.
Oh yeah, you can see that he's
tassels.
just kind of moving
of course,
around.
That leads to the discussion of vibrating stones to make them levitate.
Yep. So.
But yeah, you got so much going on, Josh. Thank you again for joining us. We got a lot going on here too. We've got late hours now, Thursdays and Fridays. We will be doing author signings again. So we have our first one in a couple of years with Andrea Dean Van Scoyoc. She's Gothic. She's dark. She's a poet. Think Anne Rice with Anne Romelade, right? A little saucy, a little Gothic.
I like that.
Yeah.
Although apparently, Anne Rice was a little saucy too. She
was saucy. She was saucy. She kind of flipped it back and forth between the sauce and the other stuff. But they always come back to the sauce. They always come back to the sauce.
To show off here, I have my swag bag all ready to go.
Yes, and we have our swag bag weekend coming up. It'll be Black Friday weekend. You can get one of these. I've only got 50 of them available right now, so you can get one of these for 50 and fill it all the way up. You can get about 100 mass market size books in there. That helps me purge out my shelves. and get rid of what's been kicked around for the last 6 months, 8 months. And then I've got other boxes to bring out, so there'll be new titles again. So that helps me greatly when everybody comes and does the swag bag sale. If you already have a swag bag, or if you have a different bag that you want to bring in, we can approve that for a $45 fill up. But yeah, we've got a lot going on here, making some changes as far as opening up some evenings, so we can be here for our local authors. So what's going on, Josh? Tell us what's happening. You are everywhere. I see your Instagram and you're out at events every weekend, hawking your wares. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's been great. You know what? I'm so thankful for it. My fourth book with Reedy Press just came out, as you mentioned, and my first one, which you have, was Secret Tampa Bay, and then of course I did the Scavenger Hunt, and I did Oldest, which was
Oldest
more
Tampa Bay?
historical. But really, the place that I feel like is just where I live is going to see weird, wonderful, obscure, little known things. It's kind of how I got into this whole thing. It's what I love to do. And so when I was given the opportunity to do it again, it was just a no-brainer. And I got to work with a fellow author, which was a good experience. And boy, there's just so much to see in Orlando. So the new book is out, and that will be available soon at the Paperback Exchange. You can also always find it at secrettampabay.com as well. And then I am racing to finish my first book for a different publisher. And this will be my first one with Arcadia, the History Press. And it is called Haunted Orlando, hence my ghost host.
Were you able to go on any ghost hunts while you were doing all of these, have all your gadgets and your EMF readers and all of that stuff?
I have had a chance to go out with some different teams. I've been on some of the American Ghost Adventures tours, and there was a group. I took a tour up in Mount Dora, and I have a couple more that I'm hoping to get to. There's one in Winter Park.
Well, imagine there's probably a lot of entities floating around Mount Dora. There's a lot of antiques out there.
Well, in Mount Dora, the oldest continually operating hotel in Florida is located there. But yeah,
we have a really nice leather-bound collector's edition of the Mount Dora hotel book here. So yeah, if you have anybody that's looking for one, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, and I mean, it's such a cute, quaint sort of little town. It's any chance I get to get up there, and if you're into antiquing as well as ghost hunting and other things, but that's that's kind of where my head is right now. And then for next year, I do have one more book with Reedy Press called Amazing Florida. And I mentioned the ghosts, and I think some of them are playing around with our video feed there.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So I'm doing a share screen now. I've got some stuff that you have coming up. We've got you here with your Reedy Press promo. Good old Josh. And by the way, let's get back to that. Stop share. We forgot one very important thing. Oh yeah, the video is a little funky, but I will bring up my Jekyll and Hyde. Yes. Did you bring your adult libation with you?
I'm going easy. It's I got to stay pretty sharp, so I'm just doing some coffee today.
Gotcha. This is from the Jekyll and Hyde Club in New York City. Of course, it says, in each of us, two natures are at war, the good and the evil. Dr. Henry Jekyll II.
Now, I do have a new Hawaiian shirt, and I don't know if you can really see it here, but it's got all of the classic.
Oh, look at that. Boris Karloff. I see Ella Fitzgerald on there. Or no, was that her name? No, that wasn't Ella Fitzgerald. What was her name? Oh, what was her name? The Bride of Frankenstein.
I remember the Bride of Frankenstein.
She was quite the gal.
Yeah, and so I'm
Love
excited
it.
about that, which is kind of seasonally relevant. And I have a whole stack of books that I'm reading and working my way through. And um, the other thing
You're going seasonal with the scary stuff. I know you've got a new story out, right?
I do, yeah, so in addition to all of the nonfiction, I have started to do more fiction as well, and I've had a few recent publications.
Here we go. If you'd
Um,
like to
right,
read one at the
Overlook Horror.
chambermagazine.com.
Yeah,
There's your
and
story right there.
yeah, so that was
I
really
didn't hit this. I don't know
exciting.
why this is highlighted. Why is home highlighted? Is that the home
I
button?
don't know.
Let's find out. It's a red bloody home, so I don't know. Ooh, look at that. We won't give it away. We won't spoil it, but yeah, let's go home. Let's see what this is. You
I
never know when
wonder
they're
if
going to
maybe
put a
that
weird
brings it
tag on
home
there. I
to
hope
the.
nothing funky comes up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man capsules. Oh yeah, so that's probably, you might want to get that fixed. That takes you to the man capsule link on
Yeah,
there. So I don't know who's put a link on there, but yeah, it's man
that's pretty
capsules.
weird. Um,
You always check
but
that,
yeah,
right? You always got to check your links.
exactly. Now, of course, I have no control over this website.
Yeah,
This is
right.
um,
We've got you
so,
here. What is this? Post
so this,
Angeles, the city
yeah, so
key.
this was more of a kind of I guess fantasy or sci-fi. Again, sort of short fiction that was published on the City Key, and I had a piece of.
Citykeyzine.com.
Yeah, and they've run a
Oh,
few of my pieces, mostly poetry, but again, as I kind of move into fiction, and I'm super excited to mention that I've actually joined. There is a new chapter of the Horror Writers Association, the Southwest Florida chapter, and normally I'm a little skeptical of any group that wants to have me as a member, but in this case, it's been a fantastic group, and it's run by a guy named Douglas Ford, who also has appropriately a new book called The Trick. And
nice. And
Michael,
and you guys are writing horror, right?
correct, and I know Josh Sternad and Jose Cruz have a new magazine they're launching called Spooky, and they will be talking at Spooky Empire this coming weekend in Orlando about the idea of cozy horror.
Say
I mean,
that
there's
again. Say that again. You dropped out.
cozy horror, right? Because I mean, you get like cozy mysteries, that aren't like,
Right?
real
Yeah.
violent and
We
gory
we
and
we grapple with that here at the shop because people like scary, but they don't like gory, and they have
yeah.
lines.
And if you go back and you look at things like Shirley Jackson and Matheson and some of the early Twilight Zone episodes and things that were very
Sneaky Pie Brown, right? The Black Cat series, right?
yeah, I mean things that were very unsettling and disturbing, but more of like a PG-13 sort of rating, as opposed to like a Clive Barker Books of Blood kind of thing that is a hard R if we're being generous.
Right, right.
And that's where I think a lot of my own comfort level has been as far as writing horror. So a lot of my stories are not real bloody and gory. There's not a lot of Sarah out there, but hopefully,
Goosebumps, right? Goosebumps.
yeah, it's disturbing and unsettling, and I kind of feel like a lot of my big influences lately, Ray Bradbury, um, Matheson, who I mentioned, um, reading some Ligotti. Ligotti? I don't know how you pronounce.
So you're naming off authors that are quick to tell you the story, but not hand it up to you on the silver platter. That's
Right,
make you
right.
use your brain a little bit, right?
Yeah,
That's why
kind
we
of
like to watch Brick
cerebral.
Blocks. Stuff happens off to the side. You have to
Bowman
figure it out.
is in that category too, and I feel like I've been kind of at this nexus of kind of dark fantasy, sci-fi, and horror. So of course, Neil Gaiman has been a big big influence.
Well, you went from secret to oldest, so now obviously that leads to scary stuff, right? You've
yeah,
been studying all the creepy things that have been happening.
I think writing the Jolly Trolley Ghost Store, that was kind of like the gateway writing into all of this, because now that led to Haunted Orlando, which I'm working on, and from there, I remember how much fun it was, not just to write about local lore and legends and nonfiction, but it's really been giving me, I think, the confidence more than anything to pursue.
Some of the history that they want to tell us about around here, right? Some of the more interesting stuff.
A few, 4 books in now, I feel like writing nonfiction is maybe a bit easier than writing fiction, because with nonfiction, I write about a place and then you can just go out and verify and see it for yourself. But with fiction, if I'm writing about a thing or a place or a world, I have to believe in it enough that my readers will as well, because obviously it's not something that they can go and see and experience directly. So I think a lot of it has been about developing the confidence enough in my writing skill to be able to pursue fiction. And right now, since the summer, I have written almost 90,000 words of short fiction. So
Wow.
I have enough maybe for a collection. I have a few more stories that are sort of percolating and I'm working on. One is a really sort of pitch black uh, reimagining of The Little Mermaid. So that might upset some people. Another is
More like the Hans Christian Andersen version.
yeah, even maybe a little darker than that.
Yeah.
And then I've got a interdimensional crime story that I'm working on called Doppelgangster.
Doppelgangster. I love it. Oh my gosh. I love it.
Maybe the essence of it is what if Al Capone and who was it that was after him? Elliot Ness. What if Capone and Ness were essentially the same person from alternate realities?
That's
Kind
brilliant.
of
That's brilliant. That's why they're never in the same room, right?
right. And yeah, I'm working on a few others. I had an idea over the weekend about.
I'm looking forward to that Doppelgangster. That sounds right up my alley. I love all of that gangster stuff.
Yeah, and it's really
swell. See, yeah.
it's been so much fun to to try on these sort of different ideas and hats, and reimagining a lot of older mythology, and not necessarily being wed to one particular style or even genre, but my focus has really been a lot of short fiction. So I am hoping that if everything goes well, finish up Secret Orlando, or I'm sorry, finish up Haunted Orlando, and then maybe have sort of a polished collection of short fiction to begin kind of shopping around starting in 2024.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of stuff on your plate, and
It's
that's what you have to have these days for one of them to stick, right? So that's how that works.
It's an awful lot of words, and I'm always flattered when people say, "Oh, it must be great to be able to do this as sort of your full-time pursuit." And I say, yes, it must be. But I don't know that myself because I still have, all sorts of other jobs. My sort of immediate goal is to maybe get to the point where I can do nothing but write, because I think I finally got enough of a flow of ideas that would keep me busy for years.
Well, and we have to remember too that with the advent of all of these social media pages, TikTok, Instagram, live, TikTok shops, I mean, everything, not everybody is an influencer, not everybody has that And some people would rather just shy away from that and sit and write a good story for us to share. And that's why we're out here doing the influencer stuff to try to help the local authors. We always have some interesting interviews. You never know what you're going to get. But we always love interviewing you, Josh, because it's just so easy to talk to you. And you've
Well,
got
thank
so much going on. There's never a dull moment when it comes down to what you're sharing with us and what you're creating. We really, really appreciate all of the time that you spend making Tampa Bay your home, because we're all just kind of transplants from some other place at this point. I know I am. I've been down here for 23 years, but sometimes I still feel like I just discovered something. And why didn't I know this for 23 years, And your book helps so much. And I tell people, Reedy Press puts one of these. We are lucky enough to have Josh Ginsberg here to write about Tampa Bay and Orlando. But Reedy Press puts one of those out for every major city. So if you're going to go visit Savannah or visit Atlanta or visit San Diego, grab one and get off the beaten path. The beaten path isn't the best place to be these days. Where all those weirdos are at, right?
Yeah, and especially, I mean, with Secret Orlando, when people who are visiting think of Orlando, they think of like, just the big theme parks. But
The
the
main
reality
drag
is,
down Disney, main street, right?
yeah, and the reality is that's not really Orlando. That's like a separate universe in
A separate
Orlando.
city.
Right. Yeah, Celebration is really literally like its own city. But what I've been saying, what I've been writing on the inside of the book is that adventure begins where the monorail ends. Because there's so much
So
that
many
people
people
haven't
ask, what is
seen.
there to do besides Disney? And there is a lot of stuff to do in the Tampa Bay, the across the middle of the state. Either
Oh
way you
yeah.
go, east or west, there's so much. We're going to be heading over to Daytona Beach for the first time in
Okay.
50 years next month. Wife brought me tickets to go see the Ancient Alien guys, so I'm gonna have fun
Awesome.
talking to Giorgio about aliens and trying
Okay.
to tweak their knobs and see whether I can get a reaction out of any of them. I'm probably not unlike it won't be like the tour I took at Chichen Itza when I was asking the guy down there about all the mercury pools and mica pools at the bottom of the pyramids, and he was like, you're one of those ancient alien guys, aren't you? And I'm like, yes, I need to know.
well, while you're there, you can stop and you can see the grave of Brownie, the town dog. That's in Daytona Beach. Hey, it's just a dog that the neighborhood kind of loved. I do. With Secret Orlando, we just kind of touch on the very fringe of Daytona, but there is a biker bar that I went to called The Last Resort out there, and it is kind of infamous. It's known as the home of ice cold beer and killer women. That's because that is the
Killer,
bar.
literally killers.
Well, yeah, that's the bar where Eileen Wuornos was picked up and was
Oh,
kind of popular
Eileen
there.
Wuornos.
Yeah, so they have like this
Wow.
little, they have like a painting and they have all sorts of merchandise, and they have
Always think of that big breath that Charlene Theron that she took in. It's when she was playing that part. She did such a good job.
yeah, really complicated character, and complicated human, whether you think she was a monster or sort of a victim or some amount of both.
How you react is 90% of it,
Right. So yeah, but she was certainly infamous, and they allege that she sometimes still visits the bar, not in a dangerous or upsetting way, but they believe that her spirit still hangs around there.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that I believe is just south of Daytona, or maybe the southern portion.
Makes me want to go check Olga out in the front window in the obscuratorium and make sure she's standing up straight. Nothing else moves in that little area but Olga. Olga's always in like a different position, or her face is against the window, or she's looking up like this. So she's out there moving around. She must be dancing at night or something. I'm not sure. I'll put a camera on her.
Well, She must be doing a happy dance. I know she's very happy to be there with you. So.
And we're talking about the Obscuratorium. That is in front of the Paperback Exchange. Thanks to Josh Ginsberg. We were supposed to be part of Tampa Bay Scavenger, but Pasco County was too large of an area, I did believe the publisher thought. So
just a little too far
Josh
north.
was so kind to give us a shout out on the Atlas Obscura. You can go there and just put in Paperback Exchange, and Josh put together a nice little piece for us. You can have your picture taken in front of it anytime. It's it's accessible whether we're open or not. And we probably had over the last couple of years, I would say close to 15 people show up.
Oh, wow.
Just using Atlas Obscura, and that we were on it and they were in the area and they kind of came out of their way. I think the longest trip out of the way was like 2.5 hours to come see the Obscuratorium. So that was kind of cool.
That is significant. Yeah.
But we love that. We love being part of the Atlas Obscura, and amazing. If you haven't checked out Atlas Obscura and you are going to be traveling, it is well worth it to go check out all of the unusual things all over the world. Tied to that is Gastric Obscura. So if you're adventurous and want to eat something strange, you can find all the strange places to eat as well.
Admittedly, I'm a little less adventurous with my foods. I feel like things can, I mean, when you're eating weird foods, things can go.
We fast forward through that part on Big Brother and Survivor when they're eating bugs.
Yeah, but Atlas Obscura, you know, is and really kind of always has been, you know, sort of like my North Star. And when I'm seeking what is weird and wondrous in any sort of place, that's always where I begin. And then you go from there and you delve in, and people that you meet and talk to at these places often know of other even more obscure and unusual places that they can tell you about. But you know, in doing my research, that's always one of the places I begin. That and Roadside America and Weird Florida, and you know, there's a new series I think called Curiosities, like Florida Curiosities. But I mean, all of those, you know, it is surely a testament to the strangeness of where we live, that all of these books can exist with only a modicum of overlap.
Well, thank you so much, Joshua, for joining us today. We're going to wrap it up here to let everybody know you can get Josh's books here at the Paperback Exchange. You can get them at Gilded Page down in Tarpon. You can get them at Port Key down in Safety Harbor. There is where is the Curiosity Shop in Tampa?
Tiger Dust has
Tiger Dust. We love all of these
visit
places
Tampa.
that carry and support our local authors, and we want to support them as well. So if you're nearby any of those stores, reach out and look for Josh's books. They're wonderful. There's a lot that you can preen from them and go back to them each time and find something new. So thank you.
Happy Halloween, love and weirdness, and sleep less, read more.
Thank you so much, Joshua. And please don't forget, wash your hands.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Josh.
All right, you too.